Hi, I'm Alexander Maxim from PHP. Today we'll continue our series about PHP. We'll check the third part of array methods. We have array sum, array rand, array column, and array unique. Let's start. Firstly, we'll start with the array sum method. What's the array sum method? This method calculates the sum of array element values. It has only one parameter, which is the array. The array sum method returns the sum of array element values as an integer or float, or 0 if the array is empty. Let's take an example to understand what's the array sum method. And to do that, we need to create two arrays. The first, for the array sum method, the first is the languages, which is an array. This is my languages array. We have HTML, CSS, JS, PHP, and jQuery. And we have the results of my languages, which is another array. These are my results in my languages. And now we need another variable, num. I need to get the number of elements in my results array. And to do that, we need to use the count method. I will pass the results as parameter. I need to print these items in this table. So we need to use the for each loop. I will open the PHP tag. I need the for each loop, or I will use the for loop. I will define a new variable I, and it equals to 0. I will use this condition, the I less than the num, and I will increase the value of the I variable by 1. Then I will use echo. I will define the tr or table row. Then I will use the echo to print the language item in table data. I will close the td. I will copy and paste the same after it. I will copy the first to close the tr type. So we have the languages and the results like that. So the I will be from 0 to, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be from 0 to 4 to the number 4, and it will change the value here from 0 to 4. So we will print the languages 0, then the languages 1, languages 2, etc., and the results. Let's reload and see our page. So we have HTML, CSS, JS, PHP, and jQuery, and we have the results of each language. And now I want to calculate the sum of the results values. And to do that, we will open another PHP tag, and then I will use the echo. I will type the sum is. I will concatenate it with array sum method. This method has only the array as parameter, and I will use the results as parameter. I will concatenate it with a br, and I will reload and see again, and the sum of the results is 450 for the results. I want to use the average. I will use echo again, and the average is, I will use the same method, array sum. I will pass the results as parameter, and I will divide this value by the num variable. Then I will concatenate it with the percent sign. Let's reload and see the result again, and the average is 90%. This is the array sum method. We have also the array rand method. But firstly, what's the array rand method? This method or this function randomly selects one or more array elements and returns the element key or keys randomly. A false random number generator is used for encryption purposes. It has two parameters. The first is the array and the second is the num, which is the number of elements that you want to select randomly. When you select only one entry, the array rand function returns key for one item at random. Otherwise, the array will return random item keys by selecting random element keys from the array as well as the values of these elements. Trying to select more items from the array will cause an e-warning error, and the value null will be returned. This is the array rand. Let's take an example to understand more what's the array rand. Firstly, we have group A and group B. I will create two arrays. Each one has 4 elements, and I will take 3 elements randomly. I will select 3 elements randomly in the group A and the group B. Let's firstly use a comment array rand. Then I will create club A. It's an array. In the club A we have an array, and these are the items of this array, club 1, 2, 3, 4. I will copy and paste the same array. I will just change here 6, 7, and 8. This is the club B. We now use group A array rand. It has the array and the num or the number of elements that you want to select. So the array is club A, and the number is 3. I will use the same code to select the second group, group B. And here I will just use a PHP I will use the echo, or it returns an array, so I need to use the for each loop, and inside I will use the echo to concatenate the list item with club A, or firstly let's use group A like that, and I will concatenate it with the list item to close the tag, and I will copy and paste the same here. I will change group A by group B, and it's small b, and here small b. Let's reload and see again. We have group A 1, 2, 3 and 0, 2, 3. And let's reload again. As you see here, the numbers will be changed when we refresh the page. But we have just the keys. I want to get the values, and to get the values we need to pass club A, and I will pass the key as parameter. These keys I will pass them as parameter for the club A array, and here for the club B. And now let's reload and see again. And we have in the group A club 1, 3, 4, and we have here 5, 6, 7. Let's refresh and see again. We have 1, 2, 3, and 5, 7, 8. This is the array rand method. After the array rand method, we have array column method. What's the array column method? This method returns the values from one column in the input array. These values are registered with the key specified in the column key parameter. Optionally, another column can be specified for the method to be used as a key for the array returned by the index key parameter. The input parameter is the array, and for the column key, the values column will return the method. This value can be an integer representing the column key that the method returns, or a text key in the case of associative arrays, or the name of an object property. If the value of this parameter is equal to null, the method returns the array or the objects are complete. And for the index key parameter, specifies the column that will be used as the key for the array that the method will return. The index key value may be an integer representing the column key or a text key. And for the returned values, this method returns an array of values representing one column of the array to be processed. Let's take an example to understand more what's the array column method. And to do that, we need to define another, or we need to create another array. We have the array rand or column method, and I will use another array. We have the teachers, it's an array. We have Arden in the engineering, and we have Mike for the mathematics. If we use the printr to print our array, let's firstly use the pre tag and printr. I will pass as parameter teachers, and I will use echo to close the pre. We will reload and see. We have in the array column, we have the array, the name Alexander specialization is medicine, and we have Arden, and and the specialization is engineering, etc. And now let's use the array column. And for that, we need to use another array because the array column returns an array. Teachers C, for example, for the column, and we'll use array column method. I will pass. We have three parameters: the input or the array, the column key that you want to print and or you want to use, and the index key. Let's firstly use teachers, and for the column key we will use name. I will copy same code and just I will use the teachers C. If we reload and see, we have the normal array, the name Alexander specialization, etc. And here we have Alexander, Arden, and Mike. So the column key returns the name key or the value of the name key. So we have used the name as a column key, and the array column returns an array with the names of all the teachers that we have. and here the indexes are from 0 to 2. The index key, if you specify the index key, you will here get another value or another key. Let's specify this key, and let's for example use specialization. Let's reload and see again. We have the specialization is a key and the name is a value. This is the array column. You will get the value of a key, and you can also specify the key here in the returned array. This is the array column method. And finally, we have the array unique method. The array unique method deletes duplicate values from the inserted array and returns a new array without duplicate values. The keys are saved. If the comparison of elements is equal, it will save the key and the value of the first element. We can say for two elements that they are equals if the first element is identical to the second element. It has the array as parameter and returns another array. Let's take an example to understand what's the array unique method. We have two tables, the normal array and the unique array. The idea is a participants persons, and to do that we need firstly to add a comment array unique. I will create an array participant. It's an array, and we have an array with many participants, each one sends many times, and to do that so we have this array, we have many items for this array. For example, Alexander, he sent 3 messages. For Arden, for example, 2 messages, and this is the benefit of the unique array. The unique array, it will return just one element from 3 elements. Let's use participants unique and use the array unique method. I will pass participants as parameter, and I will firstly use here the PHP, and here I will use for each element I will pass the participants as participants, and I will use echo tr echo td. I will concatenate it with the participants, and I will close the tr tag like that. I will copy same code, and I will just participants unique, and I will here use double T like that to be different. I will reload and see we have Alexander, Alex, Alexander, Arden, Alex, Mike, John, John, Mike, Alexander, Alex, John, etc. Many items, and here in the unique array we have one Alexander, one Alex, or it's I think it's not the same. Yeah, this it's they are not the same. So we have one Alexander, one Alex, one Arden, one Mike, and one John. And here we have three Alexander, and here we have many or two Mike, etc. This is the array method. Today we have learned the array sum, array rand, array colon, and array unique methods. Thank you for your work.